Good morning, class. This is Mr. Walker here, and we are talking about negative distribution this time in our notebook. So I'm going to be explaining this slide, and then I will explain to you what to do in the chart for the very last slide in your notebook. Okay? You guys make sure to have your notebook open on the side. Make sure you click between this and the notebook. Therefore, you are going to be able to get everything done in a timely manner. Okay? Let's go through and do this. All right. So just a quick admonishment, a quick warning. Distributing a negative can be tricky. Follow the steps as shown earlier. Just be careful with your negatives. So in our first example here, we're going to make sure that we distribute this negative 2 into this parenthesis with x plus 7. So just like we did before, we're just going to first go off and replace these two parentheses with negative 2. Now remember, when you're distributing something with a sign attached to it, like a negative sign, you distribute both the number and the sign inside of the parenthesis. So we are distributing negative 2. So I'm going to make sure I write that right there, negative 2. Now, let's go through and actually simplify what we have here. So over here, we got a negative 2x. And then we have over here, we got negative 2 times 7. So I'm going to rewrite this as negative 14 inside of a set of parentheses. So we distributed negative 2, then we simplified. Now, we want to rewrite this by adding the opposite. So we want to rewrite this. Since we have this plus minus thing going on, we want to get rid of that. It just looks messy. So we still have the negative 2x, but we're going to add the opposite of this. So what's the opposite of addition? Subtraction. And what's the opposite of this minus 14? We just write a 14. See, when you're adding negative numbers, it's the same as just subtracting those numbers. So see, we are going to rewrite the opposite as 14. When we add the opposite, it's just a 14. All right, cool. So this right here, this is our final little answer here. Let's take a look at our next two. All right, this time we got the distributed part on the right side. We're going to make sure that we keep up with this. So this time, we got 5 minus y times negative 3y. So when we do this, we want to make sure that we put the 5 here. And we want to make sure that we put our negative y here. Actually, we don't have to put the negative part in. We just have to put the y. Because we keep that negative part in here from before. So let's go through, let's simplify this. So if I got 5 times negative 3, this is negative 15y. Now over here, since we have a y, we're multiplying it times negative 3y. This will be a negative 3y to the second power. So I simplified everything. Now over here, I forgot to put this, but I'm actually distributing both of these. So I'm just going to put that part right here before I forget. It's good to keep track of what we did. Getting a little ahead of myself. Sorry about that. All right. We have to rewrite this because we have a minus minus here. And that's too many minus signs here. We want to make this simplified. We have to make this easy to look at. So this right here, we're all good with. We could leave that 15y there. So let's put that right there first. Bam. But we had to deal with this. So we're going to rewrite this as adding the opposite. So what's the opposite of subtraction? Addition. And the opposite of this negative 3y squared is a positive 3y squared. Now, when I say add the opposite, that just means I have to change the sign. So we are going to rewrite this as a plus 3y squared. I'm just including the part that I am changing the sign for. Anything else that I'm not changing the sign for, I'm just going to leave that alone. So this right here is my final little answer. Okay, let's take a look at this last one together, and then you guys are going to be on your own for the practice part, okay? So this time here, I see that it's just a negative symbol. Now, remember what we talked about before. If it's just a symbol with no number, we got to type in a 1 first. So we're distributing -1 into 2x minus 11. So let's go through. Let's put what we have here. We got -1. And then for right over here, same thing, a -1. And because that's what we're distributing, we're going to rewrite that over here. We're going to distribute -1. All right. Now, when we simplify this, we want to make sure that we do our math correctly. So I'm going to use a set of parentheses just so I don't get confused and mixed up. So I got -1 times 2. That's -2. And that has an x on it, so -2x. So let's go over here. Let's do the same thing. So I have -1 times 11. That's going to be -11. So I'll simplify. So there's a part of here that we have to rewrite because we have this minus going on here. We don't like that. That's the stuff we don't like. So we're going to get that fixed up real quickly. So the 2x is still negative. Nothing changes with that. But we're going to rewrite this as adding the opposite. So we're going to add the opposite of -11, which is +11. So we rewrite this as, instead of minus -11, +11. Another way to think of this is like we're distributing this negative inside of this parenthesis, just like we did earlier. So we are writing this as 11. So this all right here, these are all our final steps for this. Now, on the opposite page, right over here, you have 6 problems. All of them are either dealing with you distributing a negative symbol or distributing a negative number. Make sure you take your time with it. If you need to add an exponent, then you need to add an exponent. So just take your time. So that's it for this slide. I'm going to go through and just explain quickly the last slide here, just so you understand. All right, let's click over to it. I'll zoom out. Okay. So on here, we have a kind of just us practicing both the two things we did, distributing and combining like terms if we need to. So this chart has 4 different slots for 4 different things that you're going to do. First slot is telling you what you're going to be distributing. The second slot is you distributing. The fourth one is if you have to combine like terms. If you don't have to, then you're just going to write this, N/A. Okay? That means you don't have to do it. And then you write the final answer over here in this last column. So we're going to go through 2 of these together. Okay? Let's look at this first example. All right, so our expression is -2 times x minus 3. So what should be distributed? The thing that's outside of the parenthesis. That means that we're just distributing -2. Now in this column, we're going to actually distribute. So let's go through and do that. So I got -2 times x, and that's going to be minus -2 times 3. So you might have noticed I put the parenthesis around -2 because there's already a minus sign in the parenthesis before. So I want to make sure I don't get that confused. So is there any combining of like terms? Not necessarily. So we do not have to write this. So we're going to write NA. Now for the last one, we're going to actually rewrite this after we've distributed everything. So we have -2x. And now I have over here, we got -2 times 3, that's -6. And then we're going to add the opposite of -6, which is a +6. So this right here is our final answer. Now, when we go through and do this next one, there's not only distributing, but there's going to be some combining of like terms, and we're going to have to simplify this down in our final answer. So let's look. We got 5, and then the parentheses x minus 4. Sorry. So 5 times x minus 4, and then whatever is over here is being added to plus 2x minus 3. So first off, what's being distributed? The only thing that's being distributed is this term right here, this 5. So we're going to put a 5 here. So we're going to rewrite now this expression with this being distributed. So we have 5 times x minus 5 times 4. And then whatever we have here is being added to x minus 3. All right. So this stuff has us distributing everything here. Now there's going to be some combining of like terms. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to actually go through and do the math here quickly. Okay. So this is going to turn into 5x minus 20 plus 2x minus 3. Okay? That's what we got going on right here. And I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. There we go. Cool. All right. So this is what we have right here. We want to simplify what we got down here. So I'm going to just rearrange this a little bit here. I got 5x plus 2x. Then I got on the other side, -20 minus 3. So I put the x's together, I put my 20 and my 3 together. And then when I go through and combine these like terms, 2 plus 5, that should give us a 7x. And then -20 minus 3 is the same as -20 plus -3. It should give us a -23. So this right here is my final answer. All right. So that's the first two done for you, which means that you have the remaining 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to get done, along with your examples, not examples, your practices, your terms on these pages. Okay. So make sure that you get those done, and I will see you in class. You have a good day.